well, you need a good foundation for the bridge so it doesn't fall over. And you need strong, like, say, what's it called?
Structure.
Yeah, okay, you need good structure too. Yeah, that's it.
The thing that's in the water that you have to cross, the reason why it's so dangerous, I think, it's just that it's like sometimes problems, because like, let's say immigration, for instance. When people have to go to another country, they're crossing over their problems so they can go to another place and start over.
Start a new life.
Yeah.
The water could be like a figurative thing for like, the water could be kind of like a figurative thing for like problem, just like you said. So for example, instead of water, you should think of it more as like lava, and you're crossing over it because it's dangerous. For example, like you could have all these problems beneath you that you could be leaving behind from like the place that you're starting from. Like imagine you're in a foreign country where things aren't as good where you started. You might want to build a bridge to cross.
So my dad actually came to New York from Haiti, but he came because he was a veterinarian actually, but there was no work. He came, he didn't come because it was a bad country, of course not. It's a really good country. It was just that he needed to make a living to support me and my sisters and my mother.
So my parents and grandparents all came from Pakistan. It's like over there, it's like not as bad as you'd think. Like you'd probably hear on the news like there's bombings once in a while. Not that bad, right? Yeah, that's funny. Well, there are bombs because people don't know how to make bridges. They can't go over their own problems, build their own bridges, so they want to blow up everybody else's bridge so they can't cross by themselves. I think people going across a bridge to see each other, to meet each other, and like trying to find new people to interact with. People connecting is important because if you've never seen someone before, you can learn new things about their culture, and not only that, you can learn new things from them. Every person has a new brain and new knowledge to learn.
Well, it was actually the first time that I came to New York from Haiti. I was like about 8, and then I just came to New York. I was just coming from the airport, and then we passed near Manhattan, and I saw the Brooklyn Bridge. I was just like, wow! I had never seen anything like it before.
A bridge can be something that you cross, like in a car or a bus, and you could get to one place to another by crossing over it.
It stretches on cables of string to the feet of the stars. I stare as an Eskimo gazes at a train. I seize on it as a tick fastens to an ear. Brooklyn Bridge, yes, that is quite a thing. It stretches on cables of strings to the feet of stars. I stare as an Eskimo gazes at a train. Nah, I'm good.
What makes a good bridge, you have to start off why you're using the bridge. Because there's different reasons to use a bridge. In New York, we have footbridges, we have bridges just for cars or bicycles, like the Brooklyn Bridge, or you have the Manhattan Bridge and the Williamsburg Bridge that have cars and trains. So first you have to decide what it is you're going to be using it, because you have to think about the amount of load it's going to hold, the weather it's going to be, where is it going, what are you building into? Are you building like the Brooklyn Bridge and the Manhattan Bridge into the water? So you have to go through the water and hit the bedrock? Or are you going to do like the Marine Park Bridge over the Belt Parkway, which was a drawbridge because it had to be high and it had to open for when the sailboats came through. They've now recently redid that bridge, and they got rid of the drawbridge part and they made it taller, so you still can get the pleasure boats coming through, but now you don't have to stop traffic. If we didn't have bridges, no one would ever get anywhere. You would be stuck where you are.
Men build too many walls and not enough bridges.
Men built too many walls and not enough bridges. I stood on the bridge at midnight as the clocks were striking the hour, and the moon rose over the city behind a dark church tower.
I saw her bright reflection in the waters under me, like a golden goblet falling and sinking into the sea.
And far in the hazy distance of that lovely night in June, the blaze of the flaming furnace gleamed redder than the moon.
Among the long black rafters, the wavering shadows lay, and the current that came from the ocean seemed to lift and bear them away.
As, sweeping and eddying through them, rose and belated tide, and, streaming into the moonlight, the seaweed floated wide.
And like those waters rushing among the wooden piers, a flood of thoughts came over me that filled my eyes with tears.
How often, oh how often, in the days that had gone by, I stood there on that bridge at midnight and gazed on that wave and sky.
How often, oh how often, I had wished that the ebbing tide would bear me away on its bosom, over the ocean wild and wide.
For my heart was hot and restless, and my life was full of care, and the burden laid upon me seemed greater than I could bear.
But now it has fallen from me, it is buried in the sea, and only sorrow of others throw its shadow over me.
Yet, whenever I cross the river, on its bridge with wooden piers, like the odor of brine from the ocean, comes the thought of other years.
And I think how many thousands of care-encumbered men, each bearing his burden of sorrow, have crossed the bridge since then.
I see the long procession, still passing to and fro, the young heart hot and restless, and the old subdued and slow.
And forever, as long as the river flows, as long as the heart has passions, as long as life has wolves.
The moon and its broken reflection and its shadow shall appear as a symbol of love in heaven in its wavering image here.